Hello everyone, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is Prehistoric Facts extra episode number 82. And so this extra episode, we're going to be talking about a new paper that came out not too long ago, probably like say a week or two ago. And this is a new Spinosaur paper that just came out. And this is basically about whether, I'll actually go into a little bit more into what the paper is mostly about. But let's actually get to the authors of this paper. So the authors of this paper are these paleontologists or these scientists. It is Nathan P. Mirvold, excuse me, Stephanie L. Baumgard, Danielle Vidal, Frank E. Fish, Donald M. Henderson, Evan T. Asida, and Paul C. Sereno. And so some of these are very familiar paleontologists. So like Stephanie Baumgard, I have heard of before, even Donald Henderson. Donald Henderson is a very well paleontologist. Uh, Evan T. Saida was actually featured in a paper that I've recently that I have reviewed before, and Paul C. Sereno, very iconic paleontologist, has done numerous expeditions in Africa and also in South America. And so yeah, he's done a lot of work into the field of paleontology. So there's Donald Henderson, even Stephanie Baumgard, and so those are very well known paleontologists. The others are also very well known as well, but they're kind of like say not as famous as like say Paul C. Sereno or Donald Henderson. But yeah, so these are actually the authors, and the title of the paper is called "Diving Dinosaurs: Caveats on the Use of Bone Compactness and PFDA for Lifestyle." Inferring lifestyle. So yeah, this is actually a very interesting paper, and I'll get to what the paper is about. So what is the paper about? So the paper is basically using measurements on the bone density on the limb bones, determine if spinosaurs can dive, mostly dive, and they do talk about swimming in this paper a little bit. This paper is a rebuttal paper about whether on a previous paper that was done, I think, like a couple years ago, if whether or not spinosaurs can dive or swim, and but mostly dive, and calculating what it would take for spinosaurs to be able to dive into deeper water. So this is what this paper is about. Can spinosaurs able to like dive down, basically swim down into much greater depths in water, mostly in like lakes and also in the sea. And yeah, let's actually keep on going here. And so they're mostly talking about baryonyx and Spinosaurus here in this paper. And so they're mostly going to be using these specimens of Spinosaurus. Suchomimus does get mentioned in this paper, but not as much. But it's mostly due to the specimens that we have of baryonyx and Spinosaurus. So what are the pros of this paper? So it's mostly going to be pros on this paper. I give a lot of credit to these authors of what they have done. So first pro, measurements of bone density on the limb bones. This is very, very good. Uh, Use of measurements on bone density. I love how they used these measurements and actually how they determine whether or not these animals could be able to dive. Because remember, spinosaurs have the biggest bone density amongst other theropod dinosaurs or meat-eating dinosaurs. The reasons why is because these animals have to have much denser bones in order to actually be able to actually be in like water, and so that's what they're actually doing here. And another pro is the calculating how large the muscles would have been for these animals. I love how they did this. This is actually really, really well done. I love this. I think this is like very good use of to calculating how big the muscles were on like the limbs, the tail, and even in like certain areas like the neck. And yeah, they did a very good job on this. I love how they uh, tr- use of where Spinosaurs fit in the ecological niche in their environment, because you see, Spinosaurs have a very unique niche in their environment, and so where they are in terms of the like niche of the theropods, are they specialists or are they more likely like going to have a much wider range of what they can do? But mostly they're specialists. And using references on a previous paper to use as a guide and also to replicate, they had to replicate the numbers to whether or not they had to replicate the mathematics and measurements to whether or not if this paper it would actually be very valid. But remember, rebuttal papers can also have very unique wording in here in terms of like, was this a very good paper to actually use as a rebuttal? Because I've seen rebuttal papers that are very bad. I've seen rebuttal papers that were basically throwing opinions out instead of not using facts very well. I mean, you don't have to look much further than like in the Bone Wars, like where Cope and Marsh just threw like insults at each other through papers, and that's not a very good idea. But yeah, but even though but I've seen papers that just don't uh, do a very good job of using like like proper techniques to showcase what they have found. I mean, you have to look no further than like splitting Tyrannosaurus into three separate genuses or species, basically like Tyrannosaurus rex, Tyrannosaurus regina, and uh, and the other one. But yeah, I did not like that paper. That one was based off basically using two bits of the Tyrannosaurus skeleton, and that's not very good. But anyway, let's actually talk about this paper. Pros are very good in here. I love everything in this paper. This is very well done. So I really didn't have too much cons on this, or any so bits on here. I think this paper is very well done. But my opinion throughout this whole entire paper is very good use of measurements and bone density. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Can't go nothing wrong with about this. The second thing is I am not totally sold on that Spinosaurs can't dive into somewhat deeper water. So what they're concluding here is that using the bone density and also calculating how big the muscles were and also using computer models to determine if Spinosaurs could actually dive. Now, one of the things I would say is I'm kind of like not totally sold on is that they weren't able to do it. Now, now now certain scientists say these things just because they have their opinions out, but they have they have evidence to back it up. And so this paper does have things that do back it up, but I'm not totally sold on it. Because like we we would actually like if we had never discovered elephants and we have discovered elephants for the first time and we've seen elephants and all of a sudden they go like, oh, there's no way this animal can swim. There's no way. It's too big. It's too heavy. How on earth is it going to swim? But then later on, we find evidence or like video footage or even like photographs showcasing that yes, these animals can swim. These animals can swim. And so I would say that I'm not totally sold on this. Uh, on like Spinosaurs can't dive into deeper water. Now I'd say they can dive into like say maybe like water that's like say maybe like 20 feet deep. That's probably a very good like estimate of like how deep they can actually go. But yeah, they're probably not going to deep. They're not going to dive that much. They're most likely going to stick near the shallows. The conclusion does say the data can change. So like every paleontology paper, the data can change. And so like if another group of paleontologists decides to like look at like the first paper and then like the previous paper that they actually used on this, and also this paper, and they kind of go like, okay, where can we what can we actually replicate both scenarios? Can we replicate those? And so that could actually it can change. I do agree that Spinosaurs were like the herons of the dinosaur world. I do agree with that. I think that they did stick near the shallows and just were able to catch their prey in the shallows, mainly like fish and crustaceans and small reptiles and even like smaller dinosaurs. You know, they were probably able to do that. And that's another point I hear on this slide. And of course, I do agree that spinosaurs are semi aquatic dinosaurs. They're not totally aquatic dinosaurs, they're semi aquatic. They are able to be on land and they can be in water. It's just that with water, they're not going to be living in the water for the entire time. They're more likely going to like be able to be, they're going to be there to when they can feed, and then they just come back on land and they can just like, you know, do like their thing, like say, you know, like rest or uh, mate and do all these sorts of things. So that's all. That's what most of these animals did. But yeah, I agree with majority of things that they were pointing out here in this paper. But yeah, I'll put the paper in the link, and I'll put the link of the paper in the description down below, so that way you guys can take a look at it, and also tell me what are your opinions on Spinosaurus. Do you like them as like able to dive into deeper water and can swim to catch their prey, or do you like it, or you're more on the side of that they're semi-aquatic and they only are able to sit in the shallows of the water and be able to catch fish in the shallows more likely and be like herons of the dinosaur world. Do you agree with that? Let me know in the comments down below. But the next episode will be on March 21st, 2024, and that'll be a Q&A episode. So if you get any questions about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at donachris71@gmail.com, or just go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Donna Chris. Like the page, you usually post your questions in the comment section. Please put them in the comment section. Don't put them on Messenger. Messages for private conversations. So please put your questions in the comment section on any Facebook post, so that way I can read them a lot better. And also for YouTubers out there, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, come right to my analytics. So a lot of you guys are checking out my channel and not subscribed yet. So please feel free to hit that subscribe button and also hit the like button, because the way the YouTube algorithm works now is the more likes the video gets, the more likely it gets spread out to people that are interested in the topic, that are interested, especially in the topics that I talk about here: paleontology, prehistoric life, uh, like dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, geology in general. So anybody that is interested in those kinds of things, please feel free to uh, you know subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on these videos, and also share the video, share the channel to anybody that is interested in dinosaurs and other prehistoric life. Feel free to do so, and also hit that notification bell so that way you can get weekly notifications of every video that comes out. And also for YouTubers out there, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section, because I do read them all. Your questions do mean a lot on the Q&A episodes. So all of you that are sending me questions via email, Facebook, and YouTube, you guys are awesome. You're giving me some great questions on the Q&A episodes. It means a lot. And also make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also find them on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty good stuff on there. And also you can also follow me on Threads. It's the same thing at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Also, take care of the people around you, and also for you younger people out there, to make sure listen, your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. So that's the best motivation you could have for a good education. It's very important to have a good education. So with a good education, you're going to get a good job in the future. March 23rd, 2024, at the Marathon County Public Library in Wausau, Wisconsin, at 1 to 2 p.m. Central Time is my next event. So it's getting closer. It's almost a week away. And so if you're going to be in the Wausau, Wisconsin area on March 23rd, 1 to 2 p.m. Central Time, feel free to come on down to the Wisconsin or the Marathon County Public Library, where I'm going to be at. We're going to be in the second floor. I'm going to be in the second floor in in like this room that's got glass walls, so that way you guys can just walk in and check out all the stuff that I'm going to bring. It's basically showing bits of my collection of fossils, minerals, and fossil replicas. So all of you, if any of you that can make it, feel free to come on down and check out all my collection. I will do topics uh, in paleontology and geology in general when I actually get those chances to do so. And so it would be kind of like a classroom vibe for the next events this time. And so, yeah, those would be the next things that will be happening. But I will be traveling too this summer. So this summer I'm going to be traveling to different locations in Wisconsin, and so I'm very excited about that. And so if I'll let you guys know more details once it is fully confirmed of when I can share that information with you guys. But yeah, March 23rd coming up pretty soon. Marathon County Public Library in Wausau, Wisconsin at 1 to 2 p.m. Central Time. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.